All right, welcome in YouTube. This is another video. It's been a minute. We're gonna do something just a tad bit different today. This is a gun that I've had for I think about 2 or 3 years now. This is the Savage. No, scratch that. Not a Savage. This is the CVA Cascade chambered in 350 Legend. So whenever I want to think that 350 Legend came out first and then Cascade, and then CVA started making their bolt action rifles, which is the Cascade. I wasn't really a huge fan, I don't think, of the 350 Legend. I watched all the videos on YouTube about him, right? And then when I seen that CVA was coming out with their own bolt action rifles, I don't know, it just made me want to go get one. I was, hearing what everybody was hearing about it. They were, really low recoil rounds. Practically a souped up 30-30 is what I was hearing at the time, right? And so I normally don't just jump on bandwagons whenever things come out in the hunting or tactical world or whatnot, but I don't know. I just had a wild hair, so I went and picked one up. I actually had a 350 Legend before this one. It was in a Savage, and then, I sort of kind of fairly decently started liking the round, so I went and picked up the CVA Cascade. So I think around the time they were about 500, like right at $600. I think that was like maybe 560 or 570, something like that. Now they're gonna run you close to about $700. And is it worth it? Well, we're gonna talk about it, right? We've got some specs, we've got some information. And I'm the type of person, I don't really just like to just boldly speak about something, not unless I know, pretty soundly what I'm talking about. So like I said, I've hunted with this about, I think, 2 or 3 seasons. And excuse the shaky table. This is just like one of those little portable eat in your living room while watching TV tables, right? So it's all shaky. But anyway, I think I've taken about 3 deer with this gun, I want to believe. Let's see. I know I've taken 2, but I want to think 3. And in the ammo that I started out using, which was the most popular ammo at the time for this round, and it was this Winchester PowerPoint, right? And I believe it's in 180 grain. And this bullet packs a punch. I'm not gonna lie, but let's talk about the rifle first. So, it is a 22-inch barrel. I believe it is made in Bagara, Spain. A lot of people just call it a Bagara barrel. Can't talk today. It does have an adjustable trigger, and it does not have that little ACU trigger, right? I wish it did, but it's okay. It is adjustable. I think I have mine on the absolute lowest poundage setting possible at the moment. I do have it paired up with a Vortex Viper. Nope, this is a Vortex Diamondback 4x12x40. Right. It's a decent scope for this gun. I enjoy it. But yeah, this stock is fiberglass. It has almost that rubbery warm feel to it. I think they call this their Veil Winland or Inland or something camo pattern, I want to believe. But it's not like a standard synthetic stock rifle, right? It almost has like a warm rubber. I don't want to say warm. I think that's overused in the gun world, but it does have that sort of kind of soft rubbery texture feel, right? And so in my opinion, when I went and got the gun, I don't normally buy very expensive hunting rifles, and I'm sure this is not expensive to most people, but for me, I don't normally pay this much for a hunting rifle. But I mean, they were very catchy to get a camo printed gun, a digital printed, right? It has an adjustable trigger. Supposedly it has like most definitely an accurate barrel, right? They're promising MOA accuracy, sub MOA accuracy. They're claiming that the action itself is buttery smooth. So I'm like, yeah, I'll stomach it, right? I went ahead and bought it. So if I could buy another one for that price, I most definitely would. But like I said, they're almost like $700 now. I want to think they're like $670, and you can get some like higher models of this. They're probably $700-800. $700 or $800. I want to believe I've seen on Sportsman Warehouse. So if I could go back and buy it for the same price I bought it for originally, I would. I think it's definitely worth it. It also has a I want to think it's a 5/8. It's either a 5/8 pitch threaded barrel on it, I want to believe. So you've got a place to throw any kind of silencer or can on it, whatever you want to call it. It does have what they consider or call an adjustable stock. So I think that's just another selling point that a lot of your, I guess, more semi-budget rifles are going to. You can just unscrew this butt pad, and I think it has about like a 1-inch spacer, like 1/2 inch or 1-inch spacer that goes in there. And of course, they always say it's like, what do they say, kid friendly or female friendly, you know, for any user. But there's really not much difference, in my opinion, from using it with or without it. When I first got it, it did not have it in. I used it for like a year or so, and I've got relatively long arms, so I went ahead and put that spacer in there, but I couldn't really tell any difference. So yeah, like the gun, it's the gun itself. Just take out its caliber, right? The gun itself, it's very well built. Now, for the price, in my opinion, on this particular gun, this action is not as smooth as I would expect it to be, right? It's smooth. Don't get me wrong, it is smooth. But for the price point, I think there are some other competitors out there that most definitely have a smoother action. And I want to think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I want to think the number one, I guess, other competitor that comes into mind is the Tikka X3. I got one from my dad some time ago, and like the action on it is absolutely ridiculous in compared to this for the price you get, right? But I most definitely recommend this gun. That's just the gun, not even the 350 Legend caliber. I'm trying to think. This gun is extremely light. Like it's light. I would let a 10-year-old take it out in a heartbeat. Because it's a very, very, very well built gun. So sort of kind of jumping into the caliber itself. So as I previously stated, you know, the 350 Legend came out, and you know, you got all the big endorsers, they're pushing it, right? And so I just don't jump on all these bandwagons, man, because a lot of these guns, they're just recreating the wheel, right? But I went ahead and did it anyway, right? I personally, I enjoy lower recoil guns. I enjoy having a gun that I can hunt with, and I can hand it off to whoever's with me. If I'm taking somebody that may not be quite as an experienced hunter, right? I can just hand it off to them, and I'm not worried about, you know, them getting their eye too close to the scope and you know, damaging their eyeball or whatever, right? So I went ahead and I got a chambered and 350 Legend. This was like one of the only calibers that this gun came in that I already did not have, right? So I went ahead and got it. So diving into this, right? Personally, I do enjoy the round. Pros and cons. Let's give you the pros, right? They always say that this bullet delivers all the knockdown power, right? It empties its energy into the animal. Can I say that? Potentially. With this particular gun, I think I shot 2 deer that dropped in its tracks. And they were not like all the way like complete broadside shoulder to shoulder. It might have been right behind the shoulder on one side and coming out in the far shoulder on the other side, right? It wasn't just strictly directly through both shoulders. and it dropped 2 of them. I think the last deer I took with this gun, she probably ran about 20 or 30 yards, right? So the caliber punches. I'm not gonna lie. I personally, I wouldn't shoot it no further past about 150 yards. Now I will say this. Let's sort of kind of go over to the cons of this caliber, or at least this particular bullet. As you see, there is not a very, very long angle, right? Hope y'all can see that. Yeah, there's not a very long angle on this round, so it tapers off pretty quickly. And the issue that I was having, unload this. Oh yeah, also this is a 4+1, so 4 in the mag, 1 in the chamber. So the issue I was having is whenever I would load the gun, right, and undo the bolt, go to push one forward, is that the cartridge would be hanging. It's not gonna do it now, but the cartridge would hang on the lip, the front lip of this magazine. I can never remember. Rifles, are these magazines or clips? I think these are magazine. Clips are for what, pistols? I always get them mixed up. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. But yeah, so you pull it all the way back, right? And going back on the boat would be smooth. And as soon as you would, to go to push one forward, it would hang up. So I might could load up a couple more, get that spring compressed, and it might actually reproduce that for me. Right, that's 4 in there. So I'm just gonna ever so slightly try to sort of kind of emulate that bolt pushing that forward. No, it's not doing it now, but it was an absolute legit problem I was having. So I don't know. I think I would try going to a different round for that problem. Also, I got absolutely no pass-throughs on this round. Absolutely none. So, and everybody knows what that means. No pass-throughs, no blood trail. Thankfully, on the first 2 deer, I didn't need the pass-through. But on the 3rd deer, like, she ran about 30, 40 yards, and there was no blood, right? When I got the deer and we dressed it, she was all busted up in the inside. But, I mean, that is something to consider. So, if I do use this gun this season, I'm thinking I'm going to go to the Winchester XPs, and somebody else told me go to the copper ones. I think they're like $5 or $10 more than just the regular deer season XPs, but they said they was getting exit wounds every time within like 120 yards, right? So I might do that. Just get you a more pointier bullet, and I think you're gonna get a pass through. So overall, I like the round. It's not a 30-06, it's not a 270, it's definitely not a 300 Win Mag. It is a 35 caliber gun. So in Mississippi, during our primitive season, we are allowed to use a straight wall cartridge that is 35 caliber or larger. So you can get this in a handy rifle and use this during our primitive season. And I'm not for sure if that is private land only or private and government. I heard it was just private land, but that is an option for you, right? I actually have shot these through a CVA handy rifle, and they shoot really good through that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to go over. Actually, I'm gonna see if I can get this gun to replicate what I was just talking about, right? It is pointed in a safe direction. So, I don't know if y'all can see this, bear with me. Alright, so y'all can see the rounds in there, right? Here I'm going, pushing this forward, get it started. It went all the way through, right? Unload this. Also, the disengaging, once you have one loaded and you bring the bolt up and you pull it back, it's not very smooth. I'm not gonna lie about that. As y'all could just see, because I was sort of kind of like fidgeting with it just to get it back. So I'm going back in with the second one, right? All right, it caught just a little bit. I felt that shoulder, not the shoulder, but where the lead actually meets the brass. I felt it catching. All right, unload. I just knew that was going off the table. So we're gonna try it, see if it'll do it one more time. I wanted to give it like a really hard hang up as I normally see it in the woods. So it didn't do it. Yep, that one fell. I knew it. But that is a concern of mine. I'm wondering if going to those Winchester deer season XPs will sort of kind of negate that issue as well. Like, it's not a deal breaker. At least to me, it's not. I mean, you hate to pay, $500 to $700 for one, and it's doing that, but I mean, it's not just a complete deal breaker. So normally, whenever it happens, it looks something sort of like this, right? So I say it's closed, and I'm I'm getting to my trail, about to go walk in and hunt, right? Bolt all the way up, back, and it'll hang right about there. And so normally what I kind of do is just back off of it a little bit and then just send it home. And it goes home, but that, paying that much money for one, I wish that is something that they would address. Also, easy remedy to that would be is you could take like a file or like a Dremel, right, and compress your spring down and just sort of kind of Dremel or file that edge away, and I think that'll negate some of your problems there. Also, I want to believe this gun came with like a 1 year. Was it 1 year warranty? No. No, this actually came with a lifetime warranty. You had to register it within like a certain amount of time, which obviously I wasn't worried about. I didn't register it, but I believe it did come with like a 1 year warranty. And I want to think a lot of times whenever you see them in the stores, they'll have like a yellow sticker on the bottom of the stock that say like 14-day money back guarantee or something of that nature, right? So I mean, CVA has been around for a while. I've owned several, right? And I really enjoy this gun. So, and the barrel is Cerakoted, right? Well, I mean, I'm 5'10" with a 6'5" wingspan, right? So this is how, this is how it fits in my arms. Obviously, I got way more room to be shooting a lot lengthier of a gun. So, and it's comfortable, right? You got some sort of kind of like some, I don't know whether it's called the serrations, but yeah, just fairly warm serrations right here on the stock. And man, this gun feels very, very good to the touch. Very, very, very good. So anyway, man, I hope y'all, enjoyed this video. Maybe this, helps somebody else out. Also, if y'all have not, and if you want to, you can sure jump over and follow me on TikTok. My TikTok name is the same name as on YouTube, is Cam I Am. I think the profile picture is there as well. And on one of the more latter videos that I posted that if my followers would get me to 1,000 followers, I was gonna bring somebody hunting with me, and they got me there in like less than a day, right? And I really, really appreciate y'all /them/ everybody for following along and being supportive, right? When that happens, and I do plan on it happening because I'm a man of my word, if whoever comes down don't have their own firearm, this is probably what I'm gonna let them use, right? It's dependable, it's accurate, it's lightweight, because it might be a younger person, or it might be a lady that comes down and hunts with me, right? So for the past couple of seasons, anybody that's came down and hunted with me, and they didn't have their own gun, like this is most definitely what I'm gonna let them use. Like I really, really enjoy it, and I'm not worried about the recoil, and I know it's got the punch. You may or may not get the exit wound, but I absolutely know it has the punch to put the animal down within a very reasonable amount of time. So with all that being said, I'm gonna jump off here. I appreciate all of y'all that's rocking with me. I appreciate all of y'all that has been supportive, and yeah, we'll catch y'all outside.